Okay, here's the quote from George Kittle. He sat down with Von Miller. He was asked about whether Brock Purdy is the future of the 49ers. Kittle reminded Von Miller that Jimmy Garoppolo is a free agent and that Trey Lance hasn't gotten a fair shot yet. And he said, I don't know what's going on with Jimmy. He's a free agent, so whatever happens, happens. Trey Lance is still there. Trey, unfortunately, has not really gotten a fair shot at being an NFL quarterback. He got a full rain game monsoon against the Bears, and he got hurt in the second game. Trey's got plenty of talent. He just needs to get out there and play, which is totally consistent with what I've been saying. Then he said, but you can't talk about Brock Purdy with what he did. He said, but you can't talk about Brock Purdy with what he did. He's fantastic. Our offense was operating at the highest it's been since 2019. In my opinion, it's Brock's job to lose, but there will be competition because Brock will be out until training camp with his surgery. It's going to be interesting, but when you find a guy like that, that can play seamlessly, that can seamlessly jump in, it's his job to lose. So there you go. You want to know who the quarterback is for the 49ers? George Kittle just said it's Brock Purdy's job to lose. Does that surprise you that he was that strong with it?
No, not really. He kind of echoed what Trey Lance said the day before to Rich Eisen.
Which I thought was incredible.
I mean, yeah, I thought it was honest. Yeah, 100%. And the fact that he had that level of awareness is quite impressive. But at the same time, the way I see it is that it's very consistent with everything that, I've said, you've said, anybody's said. That I think the difference is, and where I don't really even think this is really a story, because I think Purdy, the way he played the 8-0, how good the offense looked, how good he looked. I mean, we can go on and be effusive about it. Ultimately, to me, all he earned with that, like I've said, is to be the starter going into camp. And that's where I think Lance still has a chance, Larry. As long as he does his job and plays well. If Purdy, I think that Purdy right now, to me, is going to be the starter moving forward, but it's not like he's just penciled into the job, right? He has to continue playing at the level that he played last year. And to me, that's ultimately going to determine between these two guys who really ends up being the guy. But I wasn't shocked at all by what Kittle said. After what I heard what Trey Lance said, I appreciated it because it was very honest. It was very blunt. I thought Kittle was also very honest, very blunt. I thought both comments were very reasonable, and they were exactly right about what the state of the 49ers is.
It's really interesting. And then for those, Vish referenced it a couple times there, but on the Rich Eisen show, Trey Lance went on and he was talking about Brock and the quarterback competition coming up. And he said, Trey Lance said, Brock played way too well and Brock played at such a high level and handled himself the right way. I wouldn't want it to be a situation where I'm just handed something and I feel horrible. Obviously, Brock for his injury. He said, then Trey went on to say, I'm excited to just get on the field and compete. That's all I want an opportunity to do. So, he's saying all the right things. I think Kittle is saying all the right things. Now, as far as Purdy, where is, Brock Purdy exactly? And I guess, Brock Purdy went on the radio and gave details on his surgery decision. And I guess he's confident that Dr. Meister, he's confident in his doctor who will be the surgeon in Dallas. He said, in terms of the surgery going down to Dallas for a surgeon named Keith Meister, well known, and he's the best at doing UCL repairs and surgeries and everything. So I trust him. He does like 200 plus of these a year. So one of the best of the best. So I'm in good hands. Then he basically said, everyone's saying that it would be best for just my career moving forward to get the surgery and get the repair with an internal brace. Still, there could be some question as to getting a hybrid surgery, which is reconstruction with the internal brace. So we're going into it thinking the repair with the internal brace for sure. All the surgeons have said that that's what they're hoping for and get a 6-month recovery in and be ready for camp. So, and then when the guys said, hey, what's the difference between hoping and, what's the difference between hoping and what whatever the new verdict will be. And he said, yeah, he goes, that's Dr. Meister's call. He's done this year after year with the best of Major League Baseball pitchers. So he's definitely seen this kind of thing happen, and he's going to make the best call, and not just for the heck of it. It's obviously for the best call for my career moving forward. And he knows what's best, and he's going to make the best decision for us. So it'll be good. So basically, Vish, it sounds like he's not going to have the surgery until February the 22nd. So a couple weeks off still, but that the doctor, that he really has confidence in this doctor, and that he's putting it in Keith Meister's hands as to exactly what he sees when he goes in and looks at that elbow. That sounds reasonable, but it also sounds variable. And it sounds like we don't really have a hard line idea on, is Brock going to be back in 5 months, 6 months, 7 months? We don't know. And they've said 6, but then if you look at the timeline they laid out, it's kind of,
it's 5. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5. So it's like, well, wait a second. Can we not count here? So it sounds like the Niners better be ready to have somebody at quarterback, whether that's not Brock Purdy, whether it be Trey or somebody else, maybe at the beginning of the season, right? Is that your read on it?
Yeah, and even Shanahan said at the end of the year presser, right? He said he called it cool. He said the cool thing about Brock Purdy's injury and the surgery is that at 3 months he's going to start throwing, and he's going to be throwing, and it's going to be ramping up. So he should be like full go throwing at NFL level by 6 months. So I don't know if that means he's just going to be limited for 1 month in training camp. So he's just going to be digesting everything, and then he's going to be full go, not limited throwing after that month. But yeah, you're right. They do need to sign a quarterback. We've had a lot of conversation on who that should be, but ultimately, to me, they're clear on going with these young guys, right? They're not going to sign a veteran quarterback that's going to challenge them, but they do need to sign one with enough credibility where if Purdy's injury maybe causes him to be out for longer, this guy has to be a guy that you can confidently put in and say, we can win a few games with him. So it can't be Josh Johnson is what I'm saying. It has to be, a little bit better than that, preferably if you can get an Andy Dalton, something like that. But yeah.
I'd be okay with a rookie. I really would, as long as you get somebody you like, get a rookie you like and have the cheapest quarterback room and spread that money, because realistically, that third guy, you don't want to waste cap room on that guy, and you do want somebody who can potentially play. So what's the best way to go about it? Get a rookie that you think can play, throw them in there, have a cheap room, and spread that money to Bosa and Ayuk and the rest of your roster.
I think the difficulty with that part of the conversation, though, is right. It's not as much as they found Brock Purdy, right? There's not a lot of Brock Purdys that you draft, in the 5th, 6th, 7th round that can actually walk in and start in the NFL. Like he showed he's a starting caliber quarterback. Like we saw Bailey Zappi earlier in the year, 4th, 5th round pick, right, in New England. He looked okay, I guess, but you don't know if you can draft a guy and he'll be Brock Purdy, because Brock Purdy also beat out Sudfeld and all of that. Like Brock Purdy was exceptional for a 7th round pick from the first day of the offseason, right, to here. I mean, we all know all the things you said about him during the offseason.
Well, he's the exception, not the rule. That's
exactly. Sure. And that's where I don't know if you can trust that process and just say, we're going to draft a quarterback and not have a veteran. Maybe you draft a quarterback, but then maybe the veteran you bring in isn't Andy Dalton, it's Josh Johnson. But you need to bring in a veteran to beef up this quarterback room, no matter what you do, I think.